So this is a hot one. I'm getting in for bed and John is fitting right now. Good evening. Good evening. That is more like it. I didn't think so. I'm going to invite each and every one of you to come and make your way to your seats. Happy Friday. For those of you who survived the traffic, thank you so much for pushing through and to be with us on tonight for our pre-conference mixer and intervention for those who appreciate an intimate crowd. So come on, have a seat. We will have plenty of time for you to continue to serve yourself and refresh yourself. You will have plenty of time to mix and mingle with all of the amazing people in the room. Fill in those seats. Is there something wrong with this side? I didn't get the memo. Okay. All right. Ooh, I'm so excited. As I look out, I see those of you who have traveled near and far. My name is Shelly Fan. I'm not sure what that was. Oh, that's the clicker. We'll get that. My name is Shelly Fan, and I am a licensed psychotherapist, and I get to work with individuals and helping them to overcome emotional injury. I get to work with married couples and helping them to overcome their intimacy challenges and their sexual connection issues. I get to partner with corporations and helping them to overcome their leadership deficiencies and skill deficits. In that vein, I am a conflict management expert. And out of all of the things that I get to do, I am the founder and visionary of the Teach Me How to Heal conference. And on tonight, you are sitting here in celebration of our conference. Our main day is tomorrow morning. You are here to participate in our pre-conference kickoff, to hear from our amazing speakers, to mix and mingle. We'll be talking about what's going to happen after our speakers speak on the main stage, because we are going to be breaking out into intimacy circles to truly prime you for tomorrow's experience. Are you ready? Now, before I get started, I have a question for you. Now, I need to know that I am not here alone. And so throughout this time that we're having this dialogue, this conversation, I need you to say, I hear you. Amen on that. You go, girl. You high five the person next to you when you are in agreement, but understand that your participation will be deposits that you make into your own healing. My question is, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Human psychologists stress the importance of knowing the answer to the following two questions in order to truly live a life that is fulfilled and self-actualized. And those two questions are, who are you and why are you here? Who are you and why are you here? The fundamental answer to the question, who are you, is identity. Your identity, my identity, our identity is the anchor to and for our human experiences in this earth. Who are you? if we took away your roles and responsibilities, if we took away your accolades and your accomplishments, when we take away the licensures and take away the certifications, and oh my God, if we take away the money, what's left? Who are you? In a turbulent world, we need to have a sense of identity in order to truly reign victorious in the trials and tribulations that are inevitable in our life journeys. Who are you? Let me share something called the bounce back effect. Data shows, that's numbers, data shows that we as a nation are turning back toward pre-pandemic numbers when it comes to mental health. That's good news. That means that we as a nation, that we are getting better. However, the data also shows that this bounce back effect does not apply to a very specific age group. And that age group is 18 to 35, those who are emerging into adulthood. As a matter of fact, what the data shows is that mental health crises is increasing at phenomenal, unfathomable numbers. And that is why we are here today. Teach Me How to Heal was birthed to teach a very practical message to overcoming emotional injury. The gap that exists between where we are and where we need to be. Do you know what bridges that gap? What bridges that gap is healing. We cannot live a high quality life without knowing who we are. We cannot live in optimal mental health if we do not know who we are. We cannot operate in our God-given purpose if we do not know who we are. And in order for us to know who we are, we have to heal from who we are not. My father used to call me Fishbone. And when he used to call me Fishbone, the words were so full of something I can't explain. But if I had to pick the words, I would say it was love, and it was pride, and it was admiration. See, I was a rainbow baby, birthed out of the traumatic loss of who would have been my older brother. And every time he called me Fishbone, I felt beautiful. I felt seen. When I started school, they called me Fishbone as well, but it didn't feel so good. I was skinny. I was sickly as a result of a chronic and very severe diagnosis of asthma. Always had mucus coming out of my nose, always wheezing, and I was teased and I was bullied. And all of a sudden, I no longer felt so beautiful. As a matter of fact, I felt ugly. I felt unseen, and I never felt like I was enough. And so what I did was I subconsciously found a way to fill those voids. And that was overperforming. I was incarcerated by my own ambition. There was no accomplishment great enough. If I was not going to feel internally like I was worth it, I was going to perform it until I felt it. Just like that, I had a terminal illness of the soul called perfectionism. Oh, it got worse. I moved down south where I wasn't liked enough to be black, and I wasn't black enough to, wait. I was too light to be black. I was too black to be white. And so I joined a gang called the Puerto Rican Division. Don't judge me. I learned a whole lot of salsa and a whole lot of Spanish. But I was searching for my identity. I was searching for where I fit. I was in an identity crisis that followed me through high school and then through college and then into early adulthood. And that search, that overperforming, that perfectionism, that wearing a mask, that smiling when I wasn't really happy, it came to an abrupt end when I went to a conference and I had the opportunity to see Dr. Myles Munroe live. And he asked 3 questions. He said, if you don't know the answer to these 3 questions, you can't serve God. I said, ooh. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Myles Munroe is a faith-based leader and is no longer on this side. However, understand this. I didn't know the answers. And that was a catalyst to a healing process where I had to take the mask off, be embarrassed about telling people that I have to check my bank account in the drive-thru of McDonald's before I buy my children Happy Meals. I had to look at someone and say, I am so depressed, I cannot wash my own undergarments. It got to a point that dishes were piled up so high, they started to grow mold. So I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I allowed myself to sit in that embarrassment. And after that process, I have learned to love me. Everything about me, the anointing on my life, the deficiencies, the text message that I don't always respond to, the horrible organization. Administration is not my gift. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to work on it, but man, oh man, it feels better to focus on the strengths, to focus on the things that impact others. I have learned to love myself. Every bit of myself. When I gain some weight, I'm okay with the extra jiggle when I wiggle. And when I lose weight, that's okay too. Understand that your light and your share is just an added benefit. I no longer need validation from others, only when it's for parking. So I ask you again. Who are you? The assignment of all the speakers and the facilitators this weekend and on tomorrow is to empower you to discover that for yourself. And the beauty of this is some of you know very well. Some of you, it fluctuates. Some of you, you don't truly know, so you are not operating in your authority. And no matter where you fall on the spectrum, this weekend is for you. We live in a world where if you are not able to answer the question, who are you? Society will answer it for you. Who are you? The answer to that question is different for all of us in this room. Out of 8.3 billion people on this planet, no one matches you. 8.3 billion. Can you wrap your mind around that, Brian? No one has this fingerprint, but yet you walk in a room trying to match your fingerprint to other people you follow, all these individuals wishing that you had yet another fingerprint. Just in the mere way that we were created as human beings, we were never created to match. It's okay that nobody thinks like you, Joshua. It's okay. The hope is that each and every one of you would be empowered to audaciously be yourself. Because when you do so, you send a decree to the rest of the world to love you just the way you are as well. I have a client. She hates wearing wigs, but she wears them every day. to the point where her cornrows were all matted underneath and everything. And I said to her, I said, I want to challenge you to do your hair however you feel free for a week. And tell me how that feels when you come back. And she did just that. Now, she had a cornrow like, who was it in what did we watch for a million times? Set It Off. All I gotta say it. I'm like, man, I didn't tell you to do all that with your hair. But okay, you want to set it off? Set it off. She said she felt so free. She felt so beautiful. And everybody was saying, oh man, who did your cornrows? Because now I want to do it too. When we live authentically in ourselves and the uniqueness of God's perfect design, you encourage and empower others to do the same. Are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know if you guys are ready. Are you ready? All right. So as I stated, tonight is our pre-conference kickoff. It's for our VIPs, those who wanted to invest more in themselves and to take advantage of this intimate space. And so we're going to start off with inviting some powerhouse speakers to the stage. And after our power hour of speakers, we're going to break off into some intimacy circles. We have guards all throughout the hallway. So if you try to hide in the bathrooms, we'll come and we'll grab you out. Because there is no healing, no healing, no healing, no deliverance, no breakthrough, no prosperity, there is none without vulnerability. And so we're going to break out into these intimacy circles. We're going to come back and we're going to mix and mingle, close, and be back here tomorrow. Thank you again for coming. Are we ready? Oh, wait. There are people that I have to thank. There's people that I have to thank. I'm so bad at this. Now, listen, has any of you ever hosted an event before? Anybody? I see people shaking their heads. And let me tell you, it is very difficult to do without help. And so I want to make sure that we shout out some people who have done amazing. These are individuals that were committed to the success of this conference, who said, listen, I will sponsor students. I will make sure that anybody that wants to be here, I will pay for them to be here. These are individuals, and you'll meet them all tomorrow. All these vendor tables will be filled with those, again, who invested just a little bit more to ensure that what needed to happen today happens. And so before I go there, I don't want to belabor the moment any longer. So I'm going to go ahead and transition to our first speaker, and I will make sure that I identify those individuals when we come back. Our first, somebody say first. Our first speaker. Now, before I read her bio, and I'm going to read her bio out of respect for her accomplishments, but I want to take this time to say that I have known this person way before she had all those letters after her name. She has always been very real, very authentic, and a natural born leader. You know those people that you know, like, what you see is what you get? Don't you prefer that? I prefer you be loud, be wild. I just want to, right? Like, just be real. And I'm not saying she's loud and wild. She'll snatch you up, though. She will snatch you up. And now she snatches people up in the courtroom. Danielle Lynn Esquire is an attorney, educator, and law school success coach who helps ambitious professionals navigate the intersection of achievement and alignment. As the founder of Pivot and Purpose Group, LLC, and creator of Legally Prepped, she has dedicated herself to preparing and empowering the next generation of legal professionals. A compelling voice For first-generation professionals and high-achieving Black women, Danielle brings both legal expertise and hard-won personal insight to every stage and conversation. She is also the host of Redefined Radio, where she explores what it means to redefine success on your own terms. Danielle's message is simple. The path you were handed doesn't have to be the path that you walk. Her ethnicity, Jamaican. Coming to us by way of Atlanta, Georgia. Please put your hands together for Danielle Lee. You don't have a slide, do you? No. Okay. There you go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I was worried about the introduction for a second. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not loud and crazy. Just a little bit. So tonight, some of you guys walked into this room carrying something that you don't yet have a name for. A feeling. It's not quite depression. It's not quite anxiety. It feels more like a weight. This quiet thing that sits on your chest a little longer than you'd like it to. And you know that you need to become someone, but you don't know if that someone is really you. And I know that because I've lived it. I have carried the weight of a dream that I inherited before I even had the choice myself. And nobody, and I do mean nobody, told me that I had the ability to grieve it. And so that is what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, I, as you have already heard, am the proud daughter of 2 Jamaican immigrants. And if you, but if you come from an immigrant family or a Caribbean family, then you already know where I'm about to go with this. Achievement is not optional. And in my household, achievement was more than just a goal. It was protection. So if I performed well enough, and if I dreamt big enough, and if I built something prestigious enough, then I would not have to deal with the instability that I saw my parents go through. I would not have to struggle the way that I saw them struggle. And so I chose the path that made sense. I became an attorney because the law is regal. It's real, it's solid, it's respectable, it's stable. It's something that I knew that my family could be proud of. It's something that signals upward mobility, something that I knew my parents could look at me and say, that's her, my daughter, the attorney. And I was good at it. But somewhere along the path, something changed. And I can't really tell you when it happened, but it was a gradual, slow burn. Quiet at first, but then impossible to ignore. I just wasn't lit up anymore. I wasn't curious. I wasn't brave. I was efficient. I was competent, and I was stable. But I wasn't joyful. And I'd even forgotten how to be joyful. I wasn't happy, and I can't even tell you at what point it changed for me. But I kept fighting it. In fact, I spent the majority of my 20s in this emotional turmoil, wondering if this was all there was to life, this feeling. But what they don't tell you about identity, especially an identity that was chosen for you, is that it's oftentimes easier to sit in these clothes that don't fit anymore, instead of admitting to yourself exactly that. They just don't fit. These hips, these thighs, they don't fit anymore. So you force it. And the more that I forced it, was the more distorted the reflection in the mirror became. Until one day I looked in that mirror and I didn't even recognize who was looking back at me. And that's when it hit me. Ambition, I wasn't carrying it because I thought that I was. Ambition was carrying me. And all of that tension that I was feeling for all of those years was really grief. I was grieving. Not a person, not a relationship, but the version of myself, the identity that I had inherited all of those years ago, even though it was an identity that I did not choose for myself. And so I had to make a different choice. So when you are healing from an identity crisis, healing from inherited identity, it begins the moment that you give yourself permission to grieve what was never meant for you to carry in the first place. So here's a prescription for healing, because that's what you guys came for tonight, right? It's not a 5-step system. It's not fluffy self-care like social media wants you to believe it is. In fact, sometimes it does not feel good. Sometimes it feels really bad. But it is simple. 3 questions that you ask yourself. And they're the 3 questions I had to ask myself on my healing journey. The first, what did I inherit? And I'm not talking about the career path. I'm not talking about the job. I'm not talking about the major that you chose in school. I'm talking about the thoughts that you have around what success actually looks like to you. Because if you don't identify what it is that you inherited, then you'll think that this is all there is to life, that this is normal, that it'll never be different. So we're talking about the idea that ambition is virtuous, that struggle should be avoided at all costs, that struggle means failure, and that achievement is the fastest way to earn love. Second, is this protecting me or is this reflecting me? Because there are versions of ourselves that we have that serve us in seasons. There are versions of us that protect us, especially if you've gone through some type of trauma. But that doesn't mean that version is supposed to go into your next season. And protection and reflection ask 2 different questions. Protection asks, does this feel safe? Does this make me feel safe? Reflection asks, does this look like who I am becoming? And at your stage of life, your age, where you are, the bravest thing that you can do right now is to ask yourself that question. And then third, what do I choose to keep? Because not everything that you inherited is bad. And this is where the guilt dissolves on your healing journey, because you feel like you owe something to the family that sacrificed for you to get here, to the people who believed in you, when really you only owe something to yourself. So in giving up those versions of yourself, you don't have to give up the love of the dream, even if it's not the dream that fits anymore. You don't have to give up the excellence. You don't have to give up the work ethic. You can take all of those things with you. You're not rejecting what was handed to you. You're just tailoring it like a really nice fitted suit, because you are the author of your life story. And so you get to revise that story as you see fit. So tonight I'm reminded of this song, and I'm probably aging myself a little bit, but it's a song by the great Erykah Badu. And when I used to listen to it, I used to think it was about relationships. But now that I'm older, I realize what she might have been singing about. Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back, dragging all them bags like that. I guess nobody ever told you all you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. Not the title, not the job, not the dream that ever was, just you. So grieve all of it. Feel all of it. Let it run through you. And then when it's done, make a different choice. And I hope that you choose to become the version of you that nobody handed you. Thank you.
So I have a client that recently transitioned, and her celebration of life is truly going to be a celebration of life. And I saw her for about 2 years. And I got the invitation to come to her memorial service, and I wasn't sure that I had gotten the right invitation. I have known her for 2 years. She never shared that she was like first general, such and such, all of these accolades, first firefighter in the county of wherever she lived. And they were having all these generals that were flying in from all over to honor her life. And I'm like, wow, that's really humble, because I didn't know. And you're probably wondering, why am I sharing that with you? I've known Danny Lynn for a long time. Didn't know you could sing like that, girl. All right. So I want to do this. I want you to do this. I want you to tell 3 people that they are enough and tell them why. Right now. Tell 3 people you are enough, but you have to tell them why. Because we're not doing fluff tonight. We're going to make it real. 3 people that they are enough, and make sure you tell them why. That's right. That's right. The rules were 3 people. I'm watching. 3 people. You got your 3. I love it. Affirmations are powerful. Release that affirmation into the atmosphere. 3 people. Tell them they are enough, and make sure you tell them why. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, speaker, you feel charged. Words are powerful, they give life. Now listen, I have surrounded myself with people that speak life into me. I have surrounded myself with people that speak life into me. I almost don't want to share the people in the room, like the ones in the room that speak life into me, because then you're going to try to get their phone number and then I won't have all their attention. But I'll identify 2 in this moment. My executive coach, Sean Fair, in the back. Stand up, Sean Fair. He's going to be keynoting on tomorrow. Thank you for checking up on me. It matters. The next is Christopher, Champ I Am, Hampton. Not only does he speak life, because words don't cost a thing, but he backs up everything he says with action. He backs it up by showing up, and he backs it up by showing out. He's keynoting on tonight and running cameras. Can somebody please put your hands together? So let me read his bio. Christopher C. Hampton, known by his brand name, Champ I Am. Somebody say the champ is here. He is an award-winning international keynote speaker, leadership expert, best-selling author, and global teacher. Oh, he keynoted in India just a few months ago, everybody. We have quality on tonight. He is one of the most empowering and enthusiastic voices in motivational speaking today, inspiring audiences with transformational principles for embracing greatness and achieving success. Christopher has been called a motivational teacher, sought after for his ability to deliver life-changing messages in an inspirational, entertaining, empowering, and educational style. He is the founder of the Champ I Am organization, which provides strategies that challenge and motivate entrepreneurs and leaders to break out of their comfort zone. Coming to us by way of New Jersey, please put your hands together for Christopher Champ I Am Hector.
All right. I need you to look at the person next to you, look at them in their beady little eyes. And I need you to ask my favorite question. But I want you to ask, how many of you know that Alice in Wonderland? Have you heard that? Right? My favorite character in the whole thing was the caterpillar sitting on the mushroom that looked like he was probably smoking the mushrooms. But he asked his magic question. He said, who are you? Look at your neighbor and say, who are you? And that's the question that only you can answer. And that's the problem that we have today is we are allowing people, we're allowing the culture, we are allowing systems to identify you. And there is a difference between the word identity and the word identify. Say identity. Identify. And say words matter. So when you think of identity, identity is the fact of being. Identify says to determine. Facts don't need to be determined. If I am being, I am. If you are trying to be metaphysical, if I said that word right, you're wondering, where am I being? But you are who you are. Your identity is who you are. And I believe that some of you are missing appointments and reservations that are made for you, but you're missing out on the reservation because they're made for the real you. Not your representative, because some of you are dating people and you still haven't showed them the real you. Some of you are on your job and they don't still know who the real you is. And you go through 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life. I'm 5 decades old. I like to say that. 5 decades old. And if you listen to the world, if you listen to the culture says, I identify as this. I identify as this. I identify my sexuality as this. I identify my religion as this. But what you identify is not your identity. And the reason why we're messed up and mixed up and all over the place is because we haven't taken the time to discover your identity. And when you don't discover your identity, what happens is you fall for everything. I know this fact. I am not the same Chris I was 30 years ago. I'm not the same Chris I was 20 years ago. I'm not the same Chris I was yesterday. So if you take that philosophy that they're feeding you right now, and you are hearing it on a day-to-day basis, that you have to identify as something, no, you don't. Say, I have to be me. I have to be me. So I'm going to give you an acronym. I love acronyms because it keeps me on track and I can meet that 10-minute mark, right? REAL. Real. And the world needs the real you to show up. So I'm going to show you how. Say first, you need to learn how to recognize. And when am I recognized? I'm recognizing my worth. You see, when I recognize my worth, I watch the words that people speak on me. I monitor what's being talked about me. And if it doesn't match with the real me, I learn to shut those words out because words matter. I will not let a society say because I'm Black, I'm going to be poor. And that there is no opportunities for me. And there's no man stopping me from getting my LLC because the real me knows his real worth. You got to start self-identifying you. You're on a journey of identity and you are learning who you are. And you cannot give your control of who you are to someone else. You got to realize you're worth it. Here's what happens when you don't realize who you are and you don't realize your worth. You start to devalue who you are, and then you start dating jokers that will devalue you. And jokers are male and female and in between. Right? So I'm not going to let the jokers define how to love me. I'm not going to let the jokers define how to dress me. Because who I am is the expression of who I am. I know my worth. I know the treasure that I am. E, you need to embrace your uniqueness. There's only one Christopher Charles Hampton like me. Now, I found out that there were many Christopher Charles Hamptons. And when I Googled myself, I found out that there's a Christopher Hampton that's in London, England, who's a playwright that I'm trying to outbeat his CEO on the Google because he has more attentions and likes than I do. So I'm trying to make that impact that they know who Champ is, because that guy, he has to die sometime, but I'm going to catch him one way or the other. I'm embracing the uniqueness of who I am. You know, I'm 50 years old and I'm realizing how beautiful a piece of chocolate I am. And people laugh at me when I say that, but I didn't realize how unique I was, and it was my uniqueness that made me the value that I am. Because if I'm like everybody else, is it valuable? If I gave every one of you in the room a penny, is it valuable? No, because it's common. When you understand and you embrace the uniqueness that you are designed the way you are for the purpose that you were called to. And your purpose is not meant for everybody. So you have to embrace that so you can feel there's opportunities that are custom made for your purpose. And if you don't walk in the uniqueness of who you are, you'll miss out on every opportunity that you have. So you have to embrace the uniqueness of who you are. Say, I'm embracing my uniqueness. And you have to accept resistance. I realize this because we raise a generation of clones. It's bad in high school, but it's even worse when you get out of high school. But it's bad in high school because I was a nerd in high school. But you know what? It's amazing how the nerds in high school end up being the popular people outside in real life. And because they used to make fun of me because I didn't get a chance to wear Jordans when I was in my high school. My mom told me to value that dollar. And they'd sit there. I walked into school and they're like, what are those? What are those? I'd rather be able to wear my Bobos after early school, learn how to manage money, learn how to manage my life, learn how to walk in my car, which my parents showed me how to do, so that I can afford my own Jordans when I want to do them. And I wear them not as a status. I wear them because I like them. Some of the things, when I grew up in with crisscross. Remember crisscross? Crisscross to make it jump, jump. Oh, y'all aged yourself really good. But remember crisscross, they were unique in their own code, but just because they were unique in their own code, I didn't want to wear my pants backwards, walk around with my shirt backwards. And they tried to make backwards popular. That was their call, not mine. That was their uniqueness, and I ain't hating them. But just because they did it don't mean I have to do it. I need you, when you understand your worth, you understand where to invest yourself in your unique potential. Is this good? The last thing is when you understand all the three above, you get the L. And the L is you get the chance to live life like you are worth it. Say live life like you are. Say it again. Live life like you are worth it. One more time. Live life like you are. You put that funk in it. Live life like you are. That's the soundtrack of my life right now. You're not gonna look. You're gonna be good. You're gonna go sleep like that. Yeah. You are working. That's how life is. When you get a chance that you feel like you got your control back because you're not trying to fit into communities, you end up leading community. And when you lead a real community, like the communities I walk in, I ain't got to influence Shelly. Shelly ain't got to influence me. But when we come together, we blow things up because we understand the value of who we are. So say it with me. I'm going to recognize my worth. Y'all gotta say it like I've been preaching good to y'all. I'm gonna recognize my worth. I'm going to embrace my uniqueness. I'm going to accept the resistance. And I'm going to live life like I am worth it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
One more round of applause for Champ I Am. And as stated, everybody will have the opportunity to get to meet our speakers more intimately after our intimacy breakout circles. Before we continue, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge those who made today and tomorrow happen. Our bronze sponsors, 3Ds Aftercare Inc., CEO Sales Agency, Shay Brown, where you at? He's out taking pictures. Deborah Everett, are you here? We'll give her a round of applause. Guy Nyame Brownstones 2 LLC. Kevin Span Insurance, Agent Mentoring. Noel and Gretchen Rodney. The T-Mez Creative Group. Our photographers. We couldn't do it without you. The Chandler Law Firm. Those who said, how many students want to come, we'll pay for it. Effervescent Style and Skincare LLC. Globe Life National Income. Jean Dubos. Law Offices of Rhonda Mako PLLC. The New York City District Council of Carpenters. Milder Montplaisir Elise, all the way from Orlando. The Zeta Mail Network. Our silver sponsors, National Grid. And our community sponsors, Healthcare Education Project. And Door to Door Laundry. One more round of applause. We could not have done it without them. Oh, we ready for our next speaker. Somebody say next. Next. Dr. Gretchen Cotton Rodney. Dr. Gretchen Cotton Rodney is a results-oriented educational leader and public school administrator with over 2 decades of experience.
That's true. With y'all's
2 decades, and some of you are tired of working after 2 months. 2 decades of experience in curriculum enhancement and strategic planning, currently serving as the director for ELA and reading K through 12 for the Huntington UFSD. She specializes in implementing literacy programs grounded in the science of reading to ensure student mastery. With a career that includes roles as executive director for elementary education and school principal, Dr. Rodney is a proven expert in professional development, program expansion, and the restructuring of grant funding to maximize instructional effectiveness. And on tonight, she is here to grace the stage and empower each and every one of you. Please put your hands together for Dr. Gretchen Coffee Rodney.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look at that. Oh, goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that smile. When she took that picture, she was not prepared for all of this. That girl did not know what it's going to be like to stand in front of you. But I am so honored because you heard all those things I've done for the last few years. But this is my debut on this stage. So tonight we're talking about, give me something. Give me something. Thank you. Thank you. So when we're thinking about identity, because that's what we're all talking about tonight, right? I am following some powerhouse. So Mr. Champ I Am was a hip hop station. You about to come into some easy listening with me. We're about to slow it down. Just a teeny tiny bit, because I am understanding not just who I am, but where I am in this journey as a speaker and hence the laptop, right? So I will be using my crutches. And because I am a school administrator, I have a PowerPoint for all y'all. We got props. So that's how it's going to be today. Love you. Love you. So if you can remember way back when we were talking with Shelly, when she was in front of us, giving us the keynote, kicking us off, she asked you a question. Does anybody remember what the question was? Oh my gracious, they were paying attention. And I want you to know that this whole weekend is very aligned, because I was sitting in my seat and she asked, "Who are you?" And I said, "Lord, she took my speech." But I'm wondering, have you had time to think about it? Danny Lynn encouraged you to put all those extra bags down and just be you. Have you given it any consideration? Champ, he said to you to live like you are. Some of y'all heard him. Not all of you, not this side. But to live like you're scholars. You ready for the rest of the PowerPoint? All right. To live like you're worthy. So we're going to dig into all of that for the next 7.5 minutes. So when you think about who you are when you're not getting paid, when someone's not liking your post, when you're not, I don't know, with anybody, just in the room, just you, who is that? And don't feel bad if you can't come up with a snap answer right now on the spot, because most people can't. And that's okay for now. I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm a storyteller by nature, so this could stretch on. But have y'all heard of Shonda Rhimes? Right? Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, Bridgerton. Everybody's into the Bridgerton life. She also wrote a book, Her Year of Yes. And in that book, she's writing about, for those of you who didn't read it yet, a year where she said yes to things that were really hard for her, like opportunities that would come her way that she would poo-poo because they scared her. And she said yes to everything that year. That was her challenge to herself. And I remember reading that and thinking, Shonda girl, because we're on a first name basis in my head. I love you, but I need a firm no. Okay? Because at that point in my life, I wasn't saying yes to opportunities. I was saying yes to expectations, responsibilities, and those good old OPPs, those other people's priorities. And to be honest with you, I was tired. I don't know if I really introduced myself. I am Dr. Gretchen Cotton Rodney, and I stand before you as a recovering hustleaholic. Because, baby, at that time, I was hustling. Oh, yeah, got all my slides, y'all. There you go. Boom. I was a sitting principal. I was president of the graduate chapter of my sorority, one of the graduate chapters here on Long Island. I was in the second year as a doctoral candidate, which means I was deep into research. I had just been elected to the board of trustees for my local library, and I have a minor role as a wife and mom of 2 adults. And those are just the highlight reels because, again, 10 minutes. So I realized that I kept checking boxes off my list because I felt like with everything I did, I became a little bit more, right? Just a little bit better. Going back to Danny Lynn, achievement, right? The better you do, the better you are. That was my identity. I got a doctorate because it was what was next. You know? So what? And then you get it and you stand there and think, all right, that was that, you know? So you start looking for the next thing to put on your list. Girl, I gotta skip a whole lot of stuff here. So, class participation time. You ready? Okay, now this side is ready. Come on, people. That's right. Yeah, there you go. Who's heard one of these, or you said it yourself? I'm on my grind. Yes. Girl, you could sleep when you dead. Or this is my hustle season, right? Yeah. We wear hustle like a badge of honor. I'm a hustler, baby. Yeah. I'm not gonna sing, Danny. That's your gig. That ain't me. It's not my ministry today. But we hold on to that. But the research shows that hustle mentality, that celebration of exhaustion is slowly and deliberately killing us. It shows up like, they call it that you will have a lack of mental acuity, which is a pretty way of saying you losing your mind, girl. You get brain fog. You can't really remember things the way you used to. You have to write everything down and you forgot where you wrote it. You show up to places and you're physically there, but you're not really engaged because girl, I'm just tired. And it's not the kind of tired that you could take a nap and recover from. Like, it's like your core is tired and there's no coming back from it. I had to learn that back when I was doing my hustling, I was not just tired. Oh gosh. Ooh, me and this, oh, there you go, there you go. I wasn't tired. I was misaligned. I was living someone else's version of what good looks like. Because misalignment will find you living a life that looks successful, but doesn't feel like you. It looks real, real good from the outside, but on the inside, you're thinking, what is this? Am I gonna always feel like this? Let's do something about that. So I 20 years in education, and I decided what I wanted to do when I grow up. I want to work with people like you. You high achievers, always sitting in the front. Look at this, front row seat, you know, close to the teacher, loving you, loving y'all. We're going to work on choosing to live in our own authenticity, regardless of who's willing to pay for that, or who's going to click the like, or who's going to give us the go girl or hey guy, or you're doing it, you're killing it. Because if you don't think you're doing great, everybody else thinking it doesn't really matter. Because we can chase approval and never truly get it. So some of the ways that we work together is, somebody put this together for me because I'm not quite this talented, but there you go. It's just an animation. Get over yourself, Gretchen. Well, we work on tracking, and we can talk about this later because I'm almost out of my 10 minutes. This goes really fast. But before I leave you today, I want to leave you with something that I think is really important because it really brings this whole time we've been together so far this weekend full circle. Because you remember when Champ told you to live like you are you? Oh, I got one person. Are you worthy? But why? What makes you worthy? One person thinks because she's her. What makes you worthy? Because God created you. All right. What makes you worthy? You live in your purpose. You do not have to prove your worthiness. You don't have to earn your space. You were born worthy. Thank you for your time. Have a great night.
Now that was way too short. Let's do that again. That was Dr. Gretchen Cotton Rodney. Woo-hoo! Oh, I see you. I see you. Buying houses in cash. I see you flipping houses. I see you, judge. I see you, esquire. I see you, attorney. I see you raising those kids. I see you, and guess what? Your high functionality doesn't mean that you are healed. There are 3 situations in life that will almost always reveal how well you are or how well you're not. Do you want to hear those 3? Number 1, how you parent. Number 2, how you show up in your relationships. And number 3, how you show up in adversity. See, in life, there are things that will land right smack in the middle of your lap, whether you like it or not. It is an inevitable part of our human experience. Expectations you had will not necessarily manifest the way that you expected. People will disappoint you. People will not show up the way that you expected them. Life will take detours, and we have the responsibility to learn the skill sets necessary to survive, skills that we may not have learned in our caregiving. This next speaker has a master's, doctoral degree, and all the other letters in surviving adversity. Shay Brown is the founder of CEOSalesAgency.com, creator of the Evergreen Revenue Model, and the architect behind the 7-figure sales team system. Somebody say 7 figures. This 7-figure sales team system helping entrepreneurs generate leads, book appointments, close more deals, and create consistent, somebody say consistent 6- and 7-figure revenue. Recognized by USA Today News as one of the top 15 entrepreneurs to watch across North America, Shay has become a leading voice in business growth, revenue strategy, and entrepreneurial leadership. He is the host of the CEO Sales Huddle, the Happy Entrepreneur Show, and the producer of the Making of an Entrepreneur docu-series. Please put your hands together for Shay Brown.
God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. All of my winners in the house, stand to your feet. All the winners. All the folks who know that this is your best year, say me. For all those folks who are ready to heal and heal your family and heal your community, turn to your neighbor and say, that's me. That's me. Turn, and everyone take one moment before I get started. Put your right hand in the air and put one finger and look to that finger and say, I'm the one. I'm the one who's going to take care of my family. I'm the one who's going to change the community. I'm the one. Sit down. Say, I'm the one. I'm the one. With that being said, there I was in Dale City, Virginia. I'm in the 3rd grade. I'm in Miss Kurtz's class. And Miss Kurtz was one of the teachers that was one of my fantasy teachers, by the way. I mean, I love Miss Kurtz. Don't judge me, by the way. Don't judge me. First person I was just in love with. I couldn't wait to go to class. But on this particular day, Miss Kurtz called me to the front of the room. Now, this wasn't the first time she had called me to the front of the room to come talk about what we had just read. But on this day, something was different. When I got to the front of the room, everyone started laughing because that was normal to me. It had been happening since I was like in kindergarten, it seemed like. And for some reason, when I was trying to explain what I just read, I just couldn't get the words out. And what was different that day is Miss Kurtz decided to take me down to the principal's office. It wasn't your office, by the way, but I did go to the principal's office, by the way. And when I was at the principal's office, the principal brought in the counselor, Miss Kurtz. And then when the principal was there, they called Mother Dear. Now, Mother Dear, just to give you some context, I grew up in the Pentecostal church. Don't judge me, by the way. My mom was a bishop back in the 70s when it went popular being the bishop as a woman. We only had 35 members, 25 kids. I was one of the kids. Just means I got into a lot of trouble. But just to let you know who was coming to the principal's office. And the principal looked at my mom, the counselor looked at my mom, and they said these words. I never will forget these words. He has a severe stuttering problem. We got to put him in the, what is recorded? That other class. Don't say that special class. The other class. Nobody wanted to go to what? The other what? Class, right? Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. So we get home that evening. This is the point of the story. This is what I want to share, because sometimes you leave out. And I took that for the rest of the day as that was my identity. Like I just couldn't learn. I stuttered. Even coming out here, I stuttered. I still stutter to this day. But Mother Dear says something over the kitchen table that evening. And I want you to listen to these words. She looked at me with all sincereness. And she said, you don't have a stuttering problem. Now I thought to myself, this don't sound right. I'm in the 3rd grade. I got kicked out of the class. I'm now with some other folks that looked a little different than me. She says, you're just smarter than everyone else. Your brain is thinking so fast, you just can't get the words out. And you just keep going. Now, I didn't take that identity on at that moment. I didn't think that was true. It took me all the way till I was in the 12th grade to learn that Mother Dear lied to me. I did have a severe stuttering problem. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. That's a problem. It's a problem. But the point that I want to make, if you're taking notes, you're watching online, jot this down in your notes. Sometimes you need someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. And the question is, who are you believing in right now? And I want you to get a mental picture of somebody that's in your family, in your community. When you leave here, don't leave here happy, don't leave here motivated, don't leave here inspired. Tell someone, I believe in you. I believe in you. Now, if I turn to your neighbor and say, I believe in you. You don't even know what they're thinking, but you believe in them. Turn to the other person and say, I believe in you. You're going to start that business. You're going to get that promotion. You're going to get that relationship. You're going to have everything you want in life because I believe in you. And I wish just believing wasn't enough. Unfortunately, just believing is not enough. It's just not enough. But you can believe. You start somewhere, right? So there I was. I just graduated from Morgan State University. Shout out to all the HBCUs and any other campuses in the house. I'm joking. I got to stop that. And then the second one, after graduate school, I went, don't judge me. Don't judge me. I'm a Kappa now, but don't judge me. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. I only got so much time, okay? I got to tell you what took place. So graduated from undergrad, graduated from graduate school, and then I'm on my second marriage. You know, you heard me right. Don't judge me. I got divorced right out of undergraduate. But this time was different because this time I thought I had it all right. How many of our show of hands ever got hit with the punch you never saw coming? You just, oh, good, I'm not alone. The rest of y'all, maybe your day, hopefully, will never come. In this case, I went through my second divorce. Now, I had got laid off. I had started my own company. So I understand why she left. I was burning through the 401k. Don't judge me, by the way. Burning through all the money in the account. Don't judge me. How many of you have been betting on yourself and you've been losing? Okay, good. I'm not alone. But I kept betting on myself. What? Say, I'm going to what? Bet on myself. I'm going to bet on who? Myself. I'm gonna bet on who? Myself. So when you leave here, you're gonna bet on who? Myself. Right. I kept betting on myself, but I was losing. Okay, and that's it's a really serious problem, because when you go through something like that, even before you hit 30, 2 divorces, and my story was a little worse because my 2 sons decided to move in with me. Now that's not how it normally happens. Right? They go live with mom, you write the check, you be there, that kind of thing. So now I got 4 eyeballs looking at me. I have no money in the bank account, by the way, and I'm failing as a dad. I already failed as a husband, and I would find myself down at the gym taking showers with my son because the water was cut off and I was going broke trying to make everybody else rich. That might not be your story, but I was betting on who? Myself. And I was able to turn it around, not because I just got motivated, but because I took action. Let me give you 3 fundamental steps that you can shift your identity today. Earlier, you put your hand and said, I'm the one. But if you're the one, you got to take responsibility for where you are, for the actions, and what has taken place. Yeah, you got to heal what took place years ago. But here's the good news. You get a fresh start today. You get a fresh start today. You get a fresh start when? Today. When? Today. That's right. Today is your day. 3 fundamental things I believe you have to do. Number 1, you got to focus on the inner game. The inner game is the mental side of success. It's your belief systems. It's your comfort zone. It's how you deal with the fear of rejection. It's truly your mindset. And just think about what your mindset has been over the last 24 hours. I'm going to ask you to go back to the first of the year. You might even remember your goals, but your mindset. So make a decision today that you can control, as they say, the controllables, your mindset. Make a decision. If nothing else, you want to believe that whatever you want in life can happen for you. If you at least believe it can happen to me, you got a chance. Why not? The second fundamental way to increase and really be successful is the outer game. What was the first way? The inner game. The second way is what? The outer game. The outer game is the tactical side of success. So it's your time management, it's your goal setting, the shift your identity, it's the people that you're around, it's the circles that you're in, it's how you're taking your personal philosophies in life and actually applying them. It's never what you know, it's about what are you applying on a consistent basis. And you may have heard this before, that consistency is the key, consistency is the key, consistency is the key. And having said all that, what do most people struggle with most? Consistency. But that is no longer you. Tell yourself, I am consistent. Tell yourself, I am consistent. Tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym. No, don't do that. Say, I'm going to finish the book. I'm going to start the business. Whatever it is, for most folks, it's not a lack of knowledge. It's not a lack of talent. Sometimes it's just about being consistent. And the last fundamental way to really change your identity, to be able to bounce back. We got the inner game, that's the mindset. You can do that. You don't need no more books. You need no chat GPT, you need no AI slop. You just need yourself right now. The second way is the outer game, the tactical things you got to do. And the third fundamental way is action. Say action. And action is just moving yourself to do all the things you know you should already do. And think about it. Over the last 30 days, what type of action have you been taking toward the things you want to take? You do the inner game, the outer game, and action. You can bounce back from anything. In fact, there's only one word, I believe in the Bible, one word, I know it's not church, one word that guarantees that you will be successful, and that is persist. I will persist till I succeed. Keep persisting. So there I was. I mentioned this last one. I was running my first Marine Corps marathon. And I was a young whippersnapper back then. I thought I could do anything, right? So I'm down in Washington, D.C., where I'm from, running the Marine Corps marathon, 26,000 plus people out there. I'm like, man, this is going to be great. Oprah Winfrey ran a marathon. And if Oprah Winfrey can run a marathon, that's right, Shay Brown can freaking run a marathon. So I get out there and I'm running this marathon and I'm cheering, I'm hitting the ball, hitting everybody. And then boom, I hit mile 17. Now, for those that don't know, mile 17 is when you hit something called a wall. And you think about what's the wall you might have hit in your own life? What's the wall you might have hit in your own finances? What's the wall you might have hit at your job? What's the wall you might have hit even in your business? And I could have sat down, which I did, but I saw other people still in the race. So I get back in the race and I keep walking and I finish in 5 hours and 13 minutes. Give me a hand, give me a hand. But Oprah finished in 4 hours and 30 minutes. So I had a problem. So this time I get back in the race. This time I get with a group. This time I get with a coach. And when we ran, they said, Shay, when we get to mile 17, where you failed last time, I want you to say, I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. Repeat after me. I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. One more time. I'm trained, I'm strong, I'm ready. And because I was trained, like you are right now, because I was strong, because I was ready, I finished the race. Give me a hand. Yes. I didn't beat overtime. Don't worry about that. With that being said, my name is Shay Brown. God bless. Keep doing God's work. I'm out of here. Peace.
Energy.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Next time.
Before we transition. About you that you do uniquely well. It's like that. It's not like that, Dr. Z. Share something that you do uniquely well. So you're tapping on the person in front of you or someone in back of you, and you're sharing something you do uniquely well. I would like Dr. Marcia, Maribel, and Macy to come up to the front right here. Dr. Marcia, Maribel, and Macy, just come up right to the front. Brian, to the front. And this is what I want you to do. Come on, Brian, just right there to the front. If there was someone that you interacted with that was not able to share something that they do uniquely well, if there was someone that you interacted with and they were not able to tell you, I want you to tell one of these 4 people before the breakout session, that woman right there in the black and white outfit, she wasn't able to. We want to make sure that we connect with that person before that person leaves here tonight. Do you understand that? Got that? So tell on your neighbor. All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Oh, so Dr. Marcia wants you to tell on them right now. You got one? Okay. Okay, they're pointing. They're pointing. We will assure that you get your portion before you leave here on tonight. Oh, guys, our last speaker of the night before we break out into our intimacy circles. This gentleman, before I read his bio, he was an attendee at the 2024 Teach Me How to Heal conference. Not only did he attend, he took notes, he shared. We had accountability groups after the last conference because don't you know that motivation does not necessarily lead to transformation? And so we will have accountability groups after this weekend because we want to make sure that you apply something new. Within 24 hours of impartation, your brain will flush almost 50% of what you learned. The one thing that keeps that from happening is application. I knew as a result of his diligence that he would one day grace this stage. See, you can have skill sets. You can be an amazing speaker, project and captivate an audience. People may leave motivated, but they will not change unless the person that is holding the mic has done the work. I have full certainty that he has walked the walk. Patrick Stevens. Patrick Stevens is the Director of Restorative Justice at the Center for Community Alternatives, a freelance writer for the Appeal magazine, and an advisory council member for the Children's Defense Fund. He is also an adjunct member of the New York City Bar Association's Mass Incarceration Task Force and sits on its Corrections and Community Reentry Committee. As a system-impacted person, Patrick is an avid restorative justice practitioner and advocate for trauma-informed care. And alumni of the Bard Prison Initiative, where he earned his BA in social and political science, and the New York Theological Seminary, where he obtained his master's in leadership. He is a public speaker, consultant, and advocate for prison abolition. Through his work, Patrick bridges his lived experience with policy reform, empowering communities affected by the criminal legal system. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last speaker of the evening. Please put your hands together for Patrick. You ready?
Good evening. That was an impressive introduction. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. It should be very simple to be able to declare, I am what I am. But then, who do they say that I am? Who do they say who you are? And more importantly, what has it cost us to believe them? As a formerly incarcerated person, I had a lot of struggles. And coming out of incarceration, a lot of it related to how was I going to engage with the world? And for me, those were very difficult questions, despite all of my accomplishments, despite all of the things that I had done. The tension that I grapple with, the tension that all of us grapple with, is how are our identity shaped by the power that informs that identity? The definition most germane to the conversation comes from Wade Nobles, who says power is the ability to define reality and to have others respond to that definition as if it were their own. And so how are we defined? How would they define someone like me? I am the child of Jamaican immigrants. Danielle, I feel your pain. The picture of my father. Very spiritual family, went to church, took us to church every Sunday, and his vision of the world felt like scrutiny all the time. This photo is one that my younger brother and I would look at, hung in our living room, and we would look at this picture and say to ourselves, everywhere we went in this living room, our father is watching us, his eyes are on us. It felt like surveillance, it felt like scrutiny, it felt like tension. What I didn't recognize that although my parents were authoritative, they were not authoritarian. And I learned the difference when I went to prison. When I went to prison, that's when I really realized what authoritarian and what surveillance and what real scrutiny actually looked like. See, when you go to prison, they give you a number. They strip you of your identity in so many different ways. And at some point, you get to know your DIN number so drastically and so fervently that you know it better than your social security number. And so at that point, you have to ask yourself, who am I? What is my real identity in this space as I'm trying to navigate what this hostile world actually looks like? Which brings me to the Panopticon. Amazing theory. So Michel Foucault, a historian, brilliant historian at that, talks about Jerry Bentham's idea of the Panopticon. It's supposed to be this idea of the perfect prison. And what this prison looks like is that there's a central tower that is backlit, meaning that you cannot see into the tower. But outside of the tower are the cells, where who they would call inmates are being housed. The incarcerated people in those spaces cannot see into the tower. And so how do they operate? How do they function? They operate as if they have eyes on them all the time. And those eyes aren't eyes that are judging you kindly. These are eyes that say that you are worthless, that you deserve to be scrutinized and surveilled at all times. And so what does that do to the incarcerated person who's in that cell? They begin to live out and internalize and interiorize the values of the guards who they imagine, the power that they imagine is scrutinizing them. And what are they scrutinizing them for? Again, how are they defining them? Super predator, criminal, degenerate, altogether unworthy. And so you sort of exist, even after my incarceration, in this sort of liminal space where I know what the world sort of thinks about me, but I know what I think about myself. I know what the people who care about me say about me and the work that I do. But that doesn't matter because power has a way of informing the way that you shape your identity in the world and how you move in that world. And so I have to think about all the things that they say about me. I could not get life insurance because of my conviction, right? I have to think about where am I going to live because of my conviction? Where am I going to work? It's the difference between civil death and life as a civilian, the difference between being a convicted felon and a returning citizen. It is the difference between being a demon or an angel. Augustine would say to us, let me back up a little bit. I didn't give you Augustine in its full light. Augustine in his Confessions has this quote. And this quote, you'll hear this quote in many different versions as they edit it out. But basically it says, "For my heart could not flee away from my heart, nor could I run away from myself, since wherever I would go, I should be following." And that's the thing that I had to sit with. Who am I really in this new space, despite what power says about me? And so here we make the distinction between oppressive power and power that is life-giving. And so oppressive power is the one that defines me in the ways that we talked about. Inmate, felon, someone who is dangerous, someone who is limited. But life-giving power, the people that love you, the people who care about you, the people who see the best in you will see something entirely different. And the way that they define you and the way that they talk about you can breathe life in you. Do we understand that words have power? Do we understand the generative and productive power of the spoken word to breathe life into ourselves? A person who loves you is going to recognize that you're a person in process, that you are becoming something else. We are not static. Human beings are dynamic. We evolve, we change, we grow. And our experiences and the people that love us and actually care and pour into us, we reflect them if we are righteous. And who do we reflect? The Most High. We are divine and in his image. And so, in realizing this, I understand that I have to take power over how I am defined. I name myself. I look at Fred Hampton's work and I say, I am a revolutionary who's here to fight for the people. I look at Audre Lorde's work that says caring for myself is not an act of self-indulgence. It is a political act. It is an act of political warfare against a system that would name me, a system that demeans, essentializes, diminishes, subjugates Black, brown, and poor bodies all across this country. We're witnessing it right now in this moment. And so for us, it is very important to declare who we are, to live in that moment and say, I am going to manifest the glory of the things and the people and the love of the people who love me and who care about me. This is where we are. I'll even give you one better. Daniel Ponder, one of our great singers. Daniel Ponder has a song. And in this song, she says, my mama gave you my name, right? My mother gave you my name. Let me make sure I got this all right. I definitely had to write it down because I was listening to it all day today. Don't forget my mama gave you my name. You don't make me. Boy, well, I tell you. The other part of this is really important. The series of steps, and we're really talking about process in terms of, yes, what you internalize, what you discard, garbage in, garbage out. Again, I want to take in the things that make me new, that make me accountable, that allow me to live in a way that community becomes most important and central. Those are the things that bind us. Those are the things that we live in. Those are the things that allow us to grow and be better than we were yesterday. Because again, we are continuing as a work in progress. Oh my goodness. You know, as I was preparing for this presentation, it was very heavy in that my father and I did not always have a good relationship. And largely because I had this view of him and the way that he viewed me, right? The strictness, the discipline, all of the things that all of our Jamaican immigrant parents know about. However, as an adult, I realized that I'm more like my father than I ever realized. And the thing that really stood out to me was the fact that it wasn't that my father was trying to be authoritarian. It wasn't that he didn't love me or that he didn't care. That was totally clear. I knew that my father loved me. The thing that I didn't realize is that my father, as a Jamaican immigrant coming to this country in 1970, who had to live in a hostile world that wanted to subjugate Black and brown bodies, who wanted to say that they were other, that immigrants were other, that they didn't deserve. What are they doing here? Why are they taking our jobs? This is the world that he was living in. And as a father, if you're living in that world and you recognize what those pressures are like, how do you deal with your children? I want to make sure that you are beyond reproach, that you are perfect in the way that you move in the world. When you move around these vipers, you need to be thinking very clearly. That was the work that he was trying to do that I couldn't recognize, that my brother couldn't recognize when we were children, when we would look at that picture and say, Dad is watching us, he's scrutinizing us, he's surveilling us, he's trying to cage us in. Caging us in was the world of white supremacy that he was involved in, that he wanted to make sure that we would be protected in as we grow. And so now I have a different total vision of my father, who has since passed away, God bless him. But the way that he raised us up, the way that my mother raised us up, it gave the best to me. The best parts of me today are the results of what my mother gave me, of what my father gave me, the home that they provided for me. The number one model for how to engage in a relationship for me was my father in the way that he treated my mother. Never forget it. Always loving, always caring, always there. That's the person that I want to be. So again, so the question is, for you, as you hear my story, what are the things that you have been taking in that do not belong to you? What are the things that people are telling you that you are quibbling with, that you're not sure? Do I really deserve that label? Am I really the person that they see? What is it that they see that I don't see? I'm here to tell you it doesn't even matter. Because the people who love you are going to see the best in you, and the people who hate you and who despise you, who want to subjugate you, are going to see all the nonsense that they want to see. And so for me, it's very clear. I am that which I am. I live in love. I live in light. And the things that motivate me are my loved ones, my friends, my family, the people who actually care about other people, who care about community. These are the people who I respond to. So when they say, Patrick, you're doing something wrong, I got to check myself. For the rest of them, we leave them alone. If there's anything that I want you to take away from what I have to say today, is to please remember your own light. Please remember the people who actually care about you and who pour into you. Those are the people that we owe. We don't owe anybody else. And it is our responsibility to reject the notions of white supremacy, the notions of alienation, essentialism, those things that would keep us static and rooted in the same places. No, our lives are more than that. We are meant to be more than that. And I expect that we should all live in that light. Thank you. Thank you, love.
Woo!
Thank you.
Patrick Stevens, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Look at my.
Wow. That was amazing. How do you guys feel? Feel good? Yeah? All right. Has anyone ever been to a block party? Or am I dating myself? Do they have block parties these days? Okay. We've talked about garbage in, garbage out, surrounding yourself with energy giving people and things. So let's plan our block party that starts at 10 o'clock tonight. Who you blocking tonight? Let's have a block party tonight. He's a counterfeit. Block him. Block her. Can we have a block party tonight? You don't need a DJ, just block. All right, guys, this is a time when we get to have conversation with one another. We're going to be breaking out into our groups. This is our only breakout session for today. And we're going to break out for about 30 minutes. We're going to get to know some people. We're going to have some conversation. Each one of you should have a color card. Dr. Shayna Bell, what are the colors? Pink, green, purple, and blue. Did everybody get a card? Okay. If you did not get a card, make sure you get your card because that color determines where you go. Okay? And so all pink will go into the pink group. And if you have blue, you go to the blue group. And if you don't have a card, we'll give you one. And we did this on purpose because discomfort is healing. And so you may have come with someone and now you're frowning because they're sitting right next to you with a different color. That was purposeful. You got this. You got this. We're going to make tonight meaningful. And so what happens? You may be wondering, what happens when I go into this group? It's safe. The group is being led by professionals that are just going to facilitate conversation, giving you the opportunity to share, giving yourself the opportunity to support other people. And no matter whether or not you are a facilitator, a speaker today or tomorrow, all of you within the sound of my voice, we are encouraging you to just adhere, align with what we're about to do. Take the time to go to your groups and see what happens next. It's 30 minutes. We got this. We got this, right? All right, so I'm going to ask you all to stand to your feet. Who are the people with the mace? When you find people in the hallways that didn't go to the room, you're just going to give them a little squirt, squirt. Where are our mace monitors? Our mace monitors. Okay. Please don't let us grab you by your ears and bring you to the room. So we're going to break out again. It's about 35 minutes, and we're just going to have a conversation. Those volunteers to my left, your right, they're going to guide you to the room that you are assigned to for tonight. So we're going to go ahead and play some music while you grab your things. If you want to grab something to eat super quickly, you can do that. You can hydrate on your way out. This is our first and only breakout session for this evening. Enjoy it. Be present in it. Allow yourself to be mindful in this moment. Find your volunteer. Find your volunteer and just follow your volunteer to your breakout session. And everybody within the sound of my voice will be going to their breakout room. Everybody within the sound of my voice. 30 minutes. Let's have a conversation.